Hi everybody, this is Ozymandias, and once again I'm looking at Elite Dangerous and specifically the developer update that was sent out both on the forums and community pages on the 11th of February. For some time now, the developers have been really awesome at communicating how the game mechanics and systems of the game are undergoing their iterative evolution, and this developer update has been no exception. Michael Brooks' updates always enlighten and invigorate the community forums, and this one in particular, in my view, had some real gems to talk about. This time the update was focused on the way that the mission system is about to change. We will see the end of the bulletin board and some fundamental mechanics improvements for missions and communications from NPCs and missions. So whilst I am sad to see the end of the words bulletin board when docked in game, I have some excitement about what changes are arriving alongside this name change. Michael talked about how they are going to make things much clearer on this new missions board, and much of the information he covered rang bells in my mind. It's starting to sound like Elite Dangerous' missions are evolving in a similar way to how they evolved in EVE Online, and this is no bad thing. Not only will we start to see some personality from the mission giver, both from the character portraits and what we can only assume will be some sharp writing of mission text, but we will also be getting a more rewarding end of mission mechanic, so that the result of your actions and the knock-on impact of those actions are better communicated to you. All this can be summed up as an improved reward mechanic, which will hopefully make missions a more interesting time for the community members who currently find missions boring or stale. On my wish list for ED is that mission text could be read out either by actors or via a really good voice synthesis system such as Ivona. It's not a complaint, but it would be incredible if ED had voiced mission text as well as written style. It would be really awesome if the same system could add in comms chatter when about to dock or to leave a station or landing. Star Citizen already has this, and this simple touch really does add a lot to the atmosphere. I am certain something could be done using something like Ivona speech, and there is more than enough pattern types and accents available that it would really liven up ED's atmosphere. Better still, the use of voice synthesis versus actors is that you can have that synthetic voice say anything you want simply by passing it text. By that I mean it's cheap. Here is an example of the kind of thing I mean. This is some mission text read by an Ivona voice called Amy.
Finding platinum is a pain. Work all day, drink all night. That's pretty much all the poor slobs around here can bring themselves to do. Don't be like them, drinking yourself to an early grave just so you don't have to do it no more. The Cremain Corp are here to show you another way. Our mining cooperative is proud to be one of the biggest exporters of platinum in the entire system. Join with us and we'll have you making serious credits in no time. Maybe you'll even make enough credits to be able to go and find something better to do with your life. All you've got to do is source 1 ton of platinum and we'll take care of making sure you get a decent pay packet for an honest day's work.
Okay, so it might sound a little robotic, but it is generations beyond a 1980s voice synthesis style. Back to the developer update. There was an indication that the inbox function in the game will have better persistence for the messages you receive. Michael said that this would allow us to highlight the different stages in the mission more effectively, which again reminds me of how EVE Online's missions could function on a multi-tier mission. So we should be able to expect improved communication about what to do next in any mission sequence. Once this is in place, I can speculate that we will have more and more complex missions with bigger and greater rewards coming soon. Once again, a professional speech synthesis or an actor reading these inbox updates would add that little spice. I do hope something like this happens. Michael talked about an added level of reputation to be rolled out for minor factions as well, and whilst he didn't reveal the name of this rep level, what seems clear is that it's going to be on the positive side of neutral, so perhaps this will be beyond allied, perhaps even faction member. Personally speaking, I'm not one to worry too much about minor faction standings, since my preferred gameplay is in trading, smuggling and exploration, and whilst faction standing does have an impact on the quality of smuggling missions I embark upon, I still prefer real trading. Space trucking is the game mechanic I love the most. However, I can see how another level will create a greater challenge to gain higher rep with a minor faction. I have no doubt, however, some will declare that this is another reputation grind and use it as an excuse to criticise the game and the development team. It never surprises me more than when someone has sunk thousands of hours into a pastime like Elite. They then call it a grind and give the game bad or lackluster reviews. If a game can hold your attention for more than 1,000 hours, it can't be doing very much wrong. Finally, Michael hinted at some new huge weapons that are about to hit. He suggested that beams, pulse and multi-cannons are getting some big love, as well as a new large multi-cannon on its way. Personally, I can't wait to get to use the engineers and mount a BFG on my first Imperial cutter. What seems to be very clear is that the development team continue to really listen to our community and are working hard on giving those who had complaints what they really want, which in my view at least is a better reward mechanic to help with the perceived depth problem. I say perceived because I am of the opinion that Elite has no depth problem. It just has players that need signposts to point out where the content is. When I reflect on my initial criticism of Frontier back when the game was released, I am simply humbled by how much the development team and Frontier as an organisation has responded. For me, it is this continued dedication to keep on polishing and making the game better which forms a significant part of why I adore this game so much. Just for your reference, in the text under this video on YouTube, I'll add a link to Ivona, which is owned by Amazon. So to round off, it's a thanks for listening from me, and
I hope you drop by again soon.
From her. Take care, Commanders.